just hate how don't you just dislike how don't you just dislike how your teeth almost feel normal for a second? Your teeth almost feel normal for a second after you leave the dentist. I don't know if there's anything quite like it. I don't know if there's anything quite like it, but your teeth almost feel normal for a second after you leave the dentist. And it almost makes all feel right with the world again. But how's everyone's day going? Is everyone having a good day? I know everyone's rushing to check in with the ghost of YouTube gaming's past, but it wouldn't, if you got the time, stop by and hang out in this digital age. If you got the time to stop by and hang out in this digital age, and to do something other than heckle me, maybe talk about news and current events. Maybe talk about news and current events on the internet while you have the chance before these become a token of a bygone era also. Before face streaming becomes a token of a bygone era, why not stop by and spend a little time with Uncle Franman Diaz, most VR boxing wins. Isn't it funny how your teeth almost feel normal? Isn't it funny how your teeth almost feel normal for a little bit after you go to the dental hygienist and get dental hygiene work done? I'm going to pay for through my various I got pseudo insurance because I explained to my dentist that I'm poor. I got pseudo insurance, and I'm going to have this front tooth worked on, this broken front tooth from when I got in a fight forever ago. This is going to be fixed, and then 2 teeth that I have cavities in are going to be fixed. I'm surprised I only have 2 cavities that need worked on, with how much I've been too poor to have insurance. I've been too poor to have insurance, but my luck might be turning around in that regard. But isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how your teeth almost feel normal for a second after going to the dental hygienist? So I know my appearance is ghastly and all of that. I know my appearance is ghastly and that I am impoverished, but I do have the most ranked VR boxing wins also. I do have the most ranked VR boxing wins, and I'm a token, or I'm an archetype token of a bygone era. I'm a token of a bygone era. I'm a token of gaming YouTube gone by. The ghost of gaming YouTube's past. That's what I am. I'm the ghost of gaming YouTube's past. And you need to be nice to me and appreciate me while I'm here, because the ghost of gaming YouTube's past isn't going to be here forever. And I remember what it was like when YouTube was new and AI didn't exist and YouTube wasn't inundated with AI slop. I am a holdout of when YouTube was not inhabited by AI slop, and this is why you need to be nice to me while I'm still around, because MatPat is gone, and I was a Game Theory fan, and now MatPat's gone. PewDiePie is still clinging on. Some Ordinary Gamers is still out there, but Some Ordinary Gamers looks like an entirely different person. Remember how I told you that Leaping Lemur was part of the problem? So like Leaping Lemur and Turkey Tom are gone. I think I told you Turkey Tom was a part of the problem too. Both Leaping Lemur and Turkey Tom are gone now. So like you need to appreciate me while I'm here, because like I'm spending the time to try to be the ghost of gaming YouTube's past for you, as the landscape of YouTube is changing around us. So like I don't have the time to watch YouTube as much as I used to, because I am busy being the ghost of gaming YouTube's past with the most VR boxing wins. So by the time that I poke my head up, when I periodically poke my head up and notice that YouTube is an entirely different place, it is through the lens of not having time to watch YouTube as I would before. It is through the lens of not having time to watch YouTube like I did when I was growing up. So I'm not a normie anymore. I'm not a young normie. If you even know what normie is anymore, that's going to be something that's going to change one day. No one's going to understand what I mean when I say normie, or they're going to look at me like I'm an old man for using the word normie. But I'm not a normie like I used to be. I don't watch the front page of YouTube like I used to. Okay, there used to be a front page of YouTube. That's probably not really a thing anymore. There used to be a front page of YouTube, and it wasn't a For You page. Okay, there used to be a front page of YouTube, and I don't watch the front page of YouTube anymore. I'm not a normie. My taste may be guided by the algorithm, but there used to be a cohesive front page of YouTube. Okay, and I don't watch the front page of YouTube anymore, and I'm not a normie anymore. And but I was once upon a time a gaming YouTube normie. Okay, I was once upon a time a simple gaming YouTube normie, and I am now the ghost of gaming YouTube's past. And with that being said, you need to appreciate me while I'm here, because I'm not going to be here forever. And you know, you don't appreciate the things you have until they're gone. Did you ever think you would miss MatPat from Game Theory? Did you ever think you would miss MatPat from Game Theory? Maybe you did, but a lot of people squandered MatPat from Game Theory, and then he was gone one day a couple years ago. Okay? And you need to think about it like that. We all squandered MatPat from Game Theory while he was here. And now MatPat from Game Theory is gone, and we just have Game Theory. Okay? And PewDiePie is going to be gone one day, and Some Ordinary Gamers is going to be gone one day. Did you ever think Turkey Tom would be gone? King Cobra's gone. Did you ever think King Cobra JFS would be gone? And think of all of the YouTubers you don't even take account of. Think of all the YouTubers you don't even take account of when they disappear. Think of the YouTubers that have silently vanished and you didn't even take account of the fact that they're gone, but like, think of the ones that you noticed when they were gone. Okay? It's like that. Did you ever think Brandon Buckingham would be gone? Did you ever think Brandon Buckingham would be gone? We squandered King Cobra. We thought King Cobra was going to be one of the immortal ones. We thought King Cobra was going to be one of the immortal lol cows, like DSP. And DSP is going to be gone one day too. DSP is the ghost of gaming YouTube's past too. And so is Blade. Blade's the ghost of gaming YouTube's past. Okay? And whether you like it or not, we have all squandered these people being here. We've all wanted to see the redemption arcs. Okay? Don't tell me you didn't. Don't tell me you didn't want to see the King Cobra JFS good ending. We all wanted to see the King Cobra JFS good ending, and then it didn't happen. Okay? It didn't happen. So this is why we need to appreciate nice things while we have them, because now we are in the brave new AI future. We're in the brave new AI world. Okay? And who knows what's in the cards for the vertical streaming landscape, even if you think it's someone that's deserving. Okay? Who knows what's in the cards for the vertical face streaming ghost of gaming YouTube's past, all right, future. And it never even began for me. And that's really the thing, is like, you know, you don't appreciate the things you have until they're gone. And this is why, you know, we all wanted the good ending for King Cobra JFS, whether you admit it or not. Whether you admit it or not, we all wanted the good ending for King Cobra JFS. And then think of the ones that you didn't even want the good ending for that are gone. You missed those people too. Okay? So, and the people that live on are the ones that have to deal with the emotional distress of these people not being around. The ones that live on are the ones that take the emotional toll of the losses. So with that being said, you're never going to have nice things if you're always trying to destroy everything for no reason. You're never going to have nice things if you're always trying to destroy everything for little to no reason. And we saw that with King Cobra JFS. We saw that with King Cobra JFS. It's going to happen to Darkside Phil. Blade came and gone, and then, you know, you can say, oh, good riddance or whatever. You can say, oh, good riddance, but at the end of the day, Blade is connected to the very early days of YouTube itself. Only Use Me Blade is connected to the early days of YouTube itself. It's connected to early days of YouTube itself, people like Keemstar. And, you know, Keemstar may be the guy that wanted to get my channel Thanos snapped out of existence for archiving Lolcow Live. But with that being said, you know, Keemstar is also the ghost of gaming YouTube's past, because Only Use Me Blade was a part of Machinima, and Machinima was a part of my childhood. You know, Machinima was there when I was lonely at my house while my parents were dealing with union stuff. I mean, Machinima was, you know how 80s kids were like the TV raised the 80s kids, and the 80s kids were the real first iPad kids, but their iPad was the television or whatever. Like, not only did I have, you know, your staples for the raised by the TV kid, I had your Cartoon Networks and your Nickelodeons and your Disney channels and your Comedy Centrals and your Robin Big on MTV and, South Park and stuff like that. But I also had Machinima and the early days of YouTube and Flash Games and Newgrounds and Funny Junk. Funny Junk was like the precursor to iFunny. Funny Junk was like the precursor to iFunny. And, these were the things, that was my VR boxing in the past. You know how I'm just wasting my days away VR boxing? And how I don't get anything out of putting all this effort into VR boxing, but I don't know what to do with myself otherwise because I'm a disorganized mess. And I never had a wife to help keep me organized. That's really the thing. The thing is that, like, I legitimately need, like, a wife to help keep me organized. And I needed that worked out before I was 18 because I'm not going to make it if I don't have a wife to keep me organized. It doesn't even matter if we have kids or not. Like, I literally need a wife to help me keep my affairs in order because I'm literally not going to be able to do it as one person. I'm not going to be able to do it as one person, and I literally need, like, a woman to help me keep my affairs in order, and I'm probably going to have to use, like, AI or something like that to have a woman to help keep my affairs in order. But, like, I'm literally not going to make it if I don't have a woman to help keep my affairs in order, and I've never had that. So, like, I'm kind of doomed. Because otherwise, like, I don't see my quality of life ever being the way it is even now. Like, even now, this is the best quality of life I can hope for. Like, this is the best quality of life I can hope for. I've been poor ever since I've been out of high school. I'm lonelier than I've ever been without my dog around. And that's what I mean when I say, you take things for granted. But, like, I was less lonely with that dog around. I was less lonely with that dog around. I did care deeply for my dog. I cared very deeply for my dog. And, that there was never a doubt that I did that as to whether or not I cared about my dog. There was never a doubt as to whether or not I cared about my dog. The only time I have a hard time letting things in, and I still wasn't healed from my dog that I had before that. I was still bitter about the dog that I had before that. I was still very bitter about the dog that I had before that and the circumstances in which I had to get rid of the dog that I had before that dog. And, I hadn't forgiven myself even for how I had to get rid of the dog that I had before that dog. But I always loved that dog. My day revolved around making sure that dog got walked. I kick myself for how distracted I got by technology when that dog was in my life. Don't get me wrong, I kick myself to this day for how distracted I was by technology when that dog was in my life. But my day revolved around making sure my dog got walked. My day revolved around making sure that dog had food in its bowl and water, and that it got to walk in the backyard. And part of the reason that I'm even on YouTube in the first place is, you know, part of the reason that I'm even on YouTube the way that I'm on YouTube in the first place is because people threaten that dog. And that dog's one of the only things I care about. I neglect. I'm a very scatterbrained person. I have a hard time keeping my affairs in order. And that doesn't mean that I'm not a human. It doesn't mean that I'm not a human. I'm still capable of doing jobs. I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to organize my whole life in my head, okay? Some people can organize their whole life in their head. They have a checklist of things right off the top of their head. Oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, this, that, and the other. I've always been bad at keeping my life organized. I'm forgetful, I will forget just about anything that's important. Anything that I need to do, I probably don't even know I need to do it. I probably don't even know. There's things that I need to be doing right now, and I don't even know that I need to be doing them. That's how disorganized my life is. But, doesn't mean that I don't care about my loved ones. It doesn't. Me being a douchebag on the internet doesn't mean that I don't care about my loved ones, and my loved ones don't deserve what the internet did in the past. What the internet, I wouldn't be on the internet to this day still in the capacity that I'm on the internet if it wasn't for the fact that the way that the internet behaves is fundamentally wrong, and there needs to be people that loiter on the internet for as long as they can, just to fight for the right of people like me to be on the internet. Otherwise, it'll never be anything resembling our memories of the internet when we were kids. Our memories of the internet when we were kids, or even young adults, kids, teenagers, young adults, when we were younger, even in the past as adults, the internet, you heard things. You heard that you have to be careful on the internet, but the internet was a place where you could be yourself within reason and you'd be relatively unharmed. But, there needs to be people like me that are doing the, Ghost of Gaming YouTube's past thing, um, just to try to brute force make the internet an inhabitable place. The internet needs to be an inhabitable place, especially as we continue further into the lonely internet age and the new AI future that we are in. We need to have people that are able to just be themselves on the internet. Doesn't matter how funny looking they are. Doesn't matter how poor they are. Doesn't matter how weird they are. There needs to be a concerted effort against the way the internet is and the world is as a whole. There needs to be a concerted effort against it, and because you need to be able to be yourself on the internet without people trying to make a career of making you a joke and making you the butt of the joke. Um, People need to be able to be themselves on the internet, and you know, I I care deeply about my loved ones, and I risked my freedom for that dog, and the dog that I made. I did everything. I kick myself to this day about how distracted I was by technology when the dog was alive. But my day, if it was a day where I wasn't at work, my day revolved around making sure that dog got a walk. My day revolved around making sure that dog got a walk, making sure that dog had food and water in its bowl, making sure that dog got to walk around in the backyard. And that's a lot for someone as scatterbrained and disorganized as me to keep up with. I'm never going to be content with life. There's something wrong with me, I guess. But there's a few things that I care about. There's a few things that I care about, and that dog was one of them. And the internet threatened that dog, and the only reason I'm still here to this day is because the internet threatened that dog, and that dog's one of the only things that I ever loved. I've lived a very sad life, in my opinion. I'm lucky in a lot of ways. I'm lucky in a lot of ways, but there's a lot that I wanted to live a life that I haven't lived. I wanted to live a life where I fit in. I wanted to live a life where I feel like I fit in. And everything I've ever done has made me feel like I don't fit in my whole life. Everything that I've ever done in my life has made me feel uh, like I don't fit in anywhere. That might be part of the reason why I'm so quick to walk out of a job is because I'm still looking for a place where I feel like I fit in. So, the way that I've been treated by the internet when I made my identity known, because I've been on the internet my whole life, but the way that I got treated by the internet, despite being on the internet my whole life, and the internet feeling like the place I belong, I really realized that the world, the internet, that I used to think that I was a part of, I used to think that I was kind of one of the edgy internet denizens, so to speak, I kind of felt like that was the place where I was going to feel like I belong. Because that seemed like a place for people that don't have a place where they fit in, if that makes sense. And when that part of the internet that was supposed to be the place where, I was meeting the other people who felt like me their whole life. That's kind of what it was. The edgy internet denizen crowd, because I had been on the internet my whole life. These people follow people that are from the early days of YouTube. So I felt like I was of a like mind in the sense that these people have been around since the early days of YouTube, clearly, to be talking about people that I watched since the early days of YouTube or have known about since the early days of YouTube. Doesn't mean I've watched every video they've done, but I've been aware of their existence. So I felt like I had finally met my people, and then for those people to threaten an animal that is one of the only things that I love, that was when I realized that I guess I have to make a place where I fit in, is what I realized. I guess I have to make a place where I fit in, where, because if you're gonna, I don't know how to describe it. I felt like I had linked up with people that had parasocial relationships that I had, is a way to look at it. I felt like I had finally met people that have had the same parasocial relationships I had, and that we were going to become friends, is another way to look at it. These people had the same parasocial relationships that I had, and maybe I had finally found the place where I was going to fit in because we had the same parasocial relationships. And that's when I realized I'm going to have to make a place where I fit in, or else I'm never going to fit in. And that's how we got here today.